Monday Night Live web show. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined tonight by Justin Troop.
What's up, guys?
I made him fix that video quality. I think we're looking a lot better.
Yeah. I don't know what was up, man. Like the HD camera thing worked.
It's the internet. It's Google Hangouts. It doesn't look. I mean, I'm when I plugged in my camera, it started downloading drivers, so I can't even. I don't know.
Yeah, anyway. I can't adjust mine at all right now.
So anyway, the internet is it is what it is, and we will make the best that we can do. As always, registered us for Adepticon tonight.
Yeah, man. Like you got in there quick too, man. I know a lot of people are having some trouble.
Well, I mean, it's they do everything they possibly can.
You got that preferred access.
The stress, that it can take, and you're right. I got secret access, so I don't.
That's really all it is. It's like there's IP addresses that get a little bit extra bandwidth.
And I will say though, last year they were supposed to use missions very similar to the Forge Narrative missions. Just from my conversations with those guys, they decided to go with Maelstrom.
Yeah, it was 7th was fresh off the presses basically. So,
and this year they're now having progressive and static objectives, very much like the Forge Narrative mission packet. Now, I'm not claiming that we had anything to do with their missions at all. At all. I'm not claiming that. All I'm saying is that this show and my involvement with Adepticon and other players, they really take feedback from the community. So, and that's I'm not saying that again. No, they take really good feedback from the community and listen. And so, if enough people are asking for X, Y, or Z, is going to make it in. Part of the feedback was extending the team tournament to 5 rounds over 2 days instead of just being on a 1-day thing. So that, with the amount of teams, it used to be 4-rounder, and basically it was just kind of almost a crapshoot who would win it between 2 or 3 teams, and now you can get a more clear defined winner. The championships, man, let me tell you, the day that or the 2 years in a row that I made it into the top 16, that's when they first did it, you had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
No bueno.
And go play 40K at the peak competition.
Ain't happening, Chief. 4 o'clock in the morning? Nah.
Well, that's where I met Team Sweden for the first time. I met them, kind of casually the night before. It's like, hey, introduce people like these guys are from another country coming to play 40K. Hey, that's awesome. Well, then I met them when at the playing. We were both hungover. We were both incredibly tired, and but still played at our best. Went on to then play Reese the next round. That was my first game against Reese, if I remember correctly.
That's not the infamous match, though, is it?
No, it's not. No, this was the independent characters were doing their coverage that year, so they were doing the streaming and doing player interviews. It's the first time I met Carl, although I didn't know, Carl was going to be as awesome as he was. Or he is. He's still with us. Carl's still with us. But Reese is playing an awesome Space Wolves army, counts as Space Wolves army. He's got kind of a Native American themed Marine list. And nice. he was playing it, and he's got Bjorn, and he's telling me about how he beats Blood Angels all the time. And this is going to be like, you kind of feel sorry for my list, and it's just going to go a certain way. And then I seized the initiative and proceeded to tear his face off.
Yeah, I mean, his list. Like I remember seeing like his early iterations of it. I really liked it, man. But he wasn't playing like the net listed Space Wolves at the time.
Oh no, he was. He had everything but Bjorn, and I mean it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was very very good. But what happened was that Mephiston which went full on beast mode. So I run over there, I charge Bjorn, I cast my Strength 10 power. He doesn't block it with the Rune Priest. I cast whatever the extra power was that allowed basically to reroll hits or something like that. And reroll misses. I cast that. He didn't block it. I tore Bjorn's power weapon off. So he didn't have a power, so he couldn't wound Mephiston. I was just swinging strength 6, no AP, So then Mephiston begins to do the exact same thing the second round, kills Bjorn, and then stands on him, mean mugging, because he's an objective now. So the Space Wolves have to come get him.
Yeah, I miss that rule kind of. Like, that was really fun. I used to love using that model.
And then Storm Raven comes tearing on the table, dumps off 5 Terminators and a Chaplain into his whole line, and just does choppy, and the rest is history.
Well, like, if I remember correctly, around that time though, it was like Razorbacks and Long Fangs. Like,
that was it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his, I mean, he had variation. I think he was one of the first people that was doing like last class.
Incredibly strong list, and I got a little bit lucky with Mephiston. Anyway, I go on to the next round and did not get so lucky against Space Wolves. And it was one of those things.
Yeah,
life goes on. Didn't win that championship. Next year I get into it. End up playing Reese again, and he had Eldar and had Grey Knights, and that, I think that's still up. That's a really good game. That game is still up on I want to say the Independent Characters Twitch channel, maybe.
Okay, I have to look that up. Yeah, or
something. It was a really good game. And this is kind of what I want to talk about, like with game theory. What we just, we're hot off of Warzone Atlanta and seeing all these games play out. So watching these games and seeing how things happen at tournaments fascinate me. I like watching it. I like kind of going back and looking at because people always say, oh, I rolled a bunch of ones and things didn't work out. So if I just roll better, then, I would have done better or whatever. Yeah. But I like to really kind of pick apart exactly what happened during the course of the game, because that allows me to really, after I've figured out, like when you remove the bias from your analysis, then you can really figure out what you can change to make yourself actually be better.
Yeah, I usually, like, when I do like recaps of my games and stuff, I never account dice rolls. Like, it's always about, were my movements as clutch as they needed to be? Did I pick my matches the best I could? I never factor in dice rolls because, I mean, you just really can't. Today I might roll all sixes. Tomorrow I might roll all ones,
When you're ever just playing the math, and I've only got a few people that actually play test this way with me. A lot of people like just the thrill of the game. There's no reason not to. That's not a bad thing. But when you're doing what you need to do, just look at the odds. Should this have happened? In this game that I'm talking about, you can go back and watch from a couple years ago. There's a unit of fire dragons, and I fired 10 paladins with 4 side cannons and 8 storm bolters, and
that's a lot of shots.
And Cody has his hawk, and whatever at a unit of 5 fire dragons. Well, with the way that wounds distributed in that version of the game, he ended up having the Exarch lived.
Oh, okay, wow.
5 dudes, 1 guy lived after all that shot. So that was uncommon.
Yeah, extremely, especially for sight cannons and stuff.
What that did was put me a turn behind. So now my Death Star is now a turn behind of killing things. I had to devote additional resources to that thing. This is by no means like a banner game. Like, we played a couple things wrong in this game, and I'm not saying this is not one to like watch and study. This is just an example of something that happened that I can now look at and say, okay, if this had gone differently, or is this going the way it's going to be every time? How do I prevent this from happening again? Because that one little Fire Dragon Exarch put me again a whole turn out of position from crushing the Xenos' neck.
And that's huge. I mean, especially when you have a list designed around, like, I know where I want to be turn 2. I know where I want to be turn 3.
Yep.
And a lot of those, like, the lists that were designed in that era, especially, they were really needing to be here, here, and here. And any deviation of that plan, like, you really had to start, coming up with like some really clutch, like on the spot, like countermeasures. It was tough, man. Like, at the time, like, I was a terrible general. Like, I probably won like 1 40K game at that time out of like 7 million. So like, that wasn't for me.
Ben, you play for the love of the game too. I mean, I know you like to win. I know that you play competitively, but you also take units and factions and stuff that you want to play with.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I know, like, I'm not I'm not Alan Pajama Pants. Like I'm never going to study the game that hard. I know I'm going to give him a run for his money, and he's going to sleep on me. And,
well, you can be in the moment. See, I mean, there's nothing wrong with playing in the moment. There are plenty of people, like I'm talking about watching all these games and tournaments and that kind of stuff, that they know their army inside and out. Like Andrew Whitaker at Warzone took a Blood Angel army.
Oh, yeah. That made me so happy.
Those are very near and dear to us, Blood Angels. I love them. But I don't play them very often outside of an ally capacity right now because of their what I consider some weaknesses in the list.
It's hard to play them well. I mean, that's the best way I can say it. It's definitely hard to play them well because you're playing from behind in a lot of cases.
Now, at this tournament, we awarded the total hobby. So we really made the whole aspect of the hobby count. The time we put into modeling, the time we put into painting, the social contract that we try to appreciate and respect at the table, and then gameplay.
Oh, yeah.
So this dude, with his Blood Angel army, at the round 5, he's playing up on table 4 or 5 or something out of the 40 we had active at the tournament, and then you finish like 3rd overall.
Yeah, that's huge accomplishment. Of a tournament that size too.
Yeah, I mean, and that was directly attributed to him knowing the army, just like you. I mean, it's just what I'm saying is like knowing the army and playing right there in the moment, playing in every moment, making the best decision he could to win the game. Yeah,
and like for me, like that's the best way I enjoy the game. Like if I'm taking my plasma cannon long things that you hate so much, but I'm making them work. Like I love that, the enjoyment of somebody looking at those going, that dude just wasted 200 points, and then they're like, he just killed 600 points. What happened?
Is that how much they are?
God. No, they're cheaper than that. Like how I run them, I think it's like 190.
That's still expensive.
Yeah, I mean it's pricey, but when they're on, they're on. Sometimes I roll 5 ones and they all die.
Well, I mean, let's just say this. I mean, you don't want to count on this, but like somebody deploying into terrain with a bad run roll or a bad like distance roll, I mean, they're still going to be right there,
clumped up and stuff. Yeah. I definitely shoot my plasma cannons a little differently than how a lot of people think I would, and I think that's what helps open up some avenues too. Like, I don't know, I could talk about my plasma cannon strategies for days, but
I guess what I really want to focus on though is that you do very much play what you want to play, and then you kind of live in the moment and try to win that game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna build like the flavor of the week. I'm gonna build what I want to play.
And I'd much rather play against that. I mean, just I'd like to play against that competitively, yes, but I would also like to play against that competitively. So I'm using the phrase, I'm using it ironically and then not ironically at the same time, because when you sit, because I like to build that way too. My armies, the way I try to build is sometimes they're lean, mean, no fat, and especially with Adepticon, I want to kind of have a series leading up to it, where my list that I'm planning right now is going to be the leanest and meanest list you've ever heard me talk about.
Yeah. But you're also a general at that level, though. Like your knowledge of the game, your strategy and stuff like that, you are up there. Like there's, nobody can question that. Well,
I appreciate that. But I said where I go to in like local tournaments is I like to build lists that have some of that fat on there that I just enjoy playing with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh man, there's so many like different things. Like when I was playing out in Texas, I would bring like these wonky Inquisition like war bands of just craziness, and everybody's like, "What, dude? Why are you playing those? Like, you should have death cults with the power maul and the power axe, and that's it." I was like, "Yeah, that's cute, but I'm gonna shoot you with all these Stormbolter dudes," and they're like, "That's never gonna work." And then I just mow down all your objective guys. They're like, "How did that work?" I was like, "I don't know," and they're completely overcosted. The Stormbolter costs more than the actual model dude himself. You know what I mean? Like, so you can make crazy stuff like that, and people just don't know what to do with it because they're like, "What is it even gonna do?" And you can use that. I mean, it's like a Kansas City shuffle in a way.
Wow,
I love it. yeah, dude. Like, I never thought in a million years I wasted all that time too, like making these dudes, putting Stormbolters on them. They look so ridiculous because I was using like IG and the Cultist like mashups.
Yeah.
So they were like these scrawny little dudes, and I'm like busting out these big old hulking storm bolters and throwing them on there. I was like, I have no idea how to make this look good.
My counts as Pedro Cantor that I made back in 5th edition. He's got a storm bolter, as you know, and this is before Grey Knights came out. So there were no wrist-mounted storm bolters. The only one was like on Logan or something, and I wasn't about to. I don't think I had Logan. So I gave him a power fist, like the biggest power fist I could find. There were only a couple of different models, but I got the clunkiest one, and then I got a tank, an IG tank storm bolter.
Nice. Yeah, those are beef.
They've got the ammo crates that kind of come out like a U.
Yeah.
I trimmed out the middle of it so it still kept the ammo and the big storm bolter, and then it slid it right on top of the power fist.
Oh man.
That's so dope. It's this big old. It looks like it to me at the time. It looked like it was pretty heresy because it was clunky and big.
It kind of reminds me of the Centurion, like that big old thing that like hangs off of their arm underneath. Like that's kind of dope.
Yeah, it looks like he looked like a Mauler fiend is what he looks like. So let's give some shouts. Sean Bailey, Steve Booley, Archon of Chaos, John, good to see you, man. Dean.
What's up, buddy?
Lamont, Alan. Yeah, I know you have a couple chat windows up, and sometimes they kind of mix each other. I kind of want to see what's going on where you are right now. Well, not see where you are. I mean the chat window. Oh man! Coach, man, good to see you, man.
Yeah, long time no see, buddy.
Thanks for jumping in.
Ricky Addington, you're in there too.
He is not.
Yeah, he is.
No,
I'm looking at his name right now.
I can't see some of the stuff in it. Anyway, that's why I always apologize if I missed you. I really apologize. The way this displays is even sometimes. But Dean building a Revenant right now.
Whoa, that's a monster of a model, man.
You got to use pins. You probably know this, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But anybody who's building a Revenant Titan right now, get that pose in, and you want to use a brass rod and run it all the way up through the foot, through the ankle joint, and into the leg, or you will have serious problems over the life of your Revenant.
That is good to know because I will be building some stuff soon.
Yeah, I mean it's not even hard to do. You just like with I did mine with a hand pin vise thing. One that I got a little wooden ball that fits in the palm, and you just twist it. And anyway, I just definitely go up and through it because let's just say that people will knock that dude over a lot because he's kind of tall. They might do it by accident.
Yeah. Dude, when I'm reaching, I'm reaching through. Come on, it's happening. Get him out of the way.
And then you're putting your thing back together, and you're gonna want that.
I just pull out my credit card when I play somebody with a really expensive model. Like, here you go, buddy. I'm sorry.
Guys, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel and you're watching this right now, even later, please do. If you have not updated your subscription in iTunes to get the Forge Narrative podcast, please do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We changed over to forgenarrative.net, and we have a new feed into iTunes, and we have a lot more control over this. No one can play games with it and stuff like that. And so I think it's going to be better off for everybody. I apologize for the inconvenience, but we're going to try to get the message out as much as possible to please subscribe to that channel. Of course, we're here on YouTube. It's still going to be on the Bell of Lost Souls. Episode 120. Okay, so it's a couple behind, but hey, better late than never. Just released on Bell of Lost Souls. And anyway, please also, and you may have done it before, but leave us reviews in iTunes. It's one of the ways that people find us.
It's like spread the word to your friends too, because like I know a lot of my friends, they listen to the show, so I'm always sure to like, hey, make sure you hit them up, help spread that word, because a lot of people have been hitting us up saying like, hey man, like I haven't got my FTN podcast in like 4 weeks. What's going on, brother? It's like, yo,
it's there. It's there.
I tell you what, we are recording. I promise you. I am.
Oh yeah.
I am worn out. There's no way we're not recording.
It's only going to be better. It's only going to get better.
Yeah, we got a lot of plans ahead, man. Everybody that everybody that's sticking through and through the summer, and I know like a lot of travel. Now we got the holidays coming up and stuff like that. There's so much stuff on the horizon that we're wanting to bring to you guys. That's just, it's going to blow your mind, man. Like just the ideas and stuff that we have when we sit around and brainstorm all day. Like we don't actually work. Like a lot of people think like, oh man, these dudes, like they go to work all day. Like, no, we don't. Like, we're on Facebook all day.
Look, I've got to keep our reply strong. I had to tell a good friend of the show, I was like, hey, don't tell me thank you. Just like when I give you the answer, don't talk to me until you have another question.
Yeah. Shut it down.
I currently don't. I mean, I obviously don't mean that. Say whatever, but like Facebook now judges us on the replies, and I don't know if I don't know if it registers the fact that we're having a conversation and we're being polite to each other at the end. So.
Yeah, like that thanks, buddy, at the end, and we're like, all right,
I gotta come back with a no problem, buddy, and you come back with it's cool, man, and then I gotta come back, it's double cool, and then it just gets real weird, and I'm just trying to help these metrics. and
then people think we're creepy.
Yeah,
what is wrong with these dudes?
I was just saying what's up. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to talk till 3 in the morning.
Keep it coming. I'm very happy. This is the holidays, and we're going to keep on putting out stuff through the holidays. We know that things get busy for folks, and you might not be able to catch every episode as it streams live or on iTunes right when we put it there. But we'll be there whenever you're ready. So happy to do it.
Yeah, and hit us up too with a lot of the stuff that you're wanting to see. We stepped back from the 30K thing for a little while. We put out so much 30K content, and then it was like, well, we got the Wars on Atlanta was coming up, and there was other things, and quite frankly, I don't know how to read. So
a lot of reading goes into research for the show. Yeah. So that means we got to read it. Tell Justin. And we got to
they call me and they sit down and talk about it, and then I have to remember all this because I can't take notes either. Not only do I not read, but I don't write.
So we're going to talk about some of these Mont'Ka formations in a minute, but I want to give Steve, Vulcan Lives, I liked it. It was better than, there was like Unremembered Empire, that everyone said it wasn't that great, everyone that I talked to, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I'm not like 100% happy where they take Vulcan, I think, but I don't have to be. I don't have like any particular devotion or affiliation to him. So maybe my idea of what I thought happened had nothing to do with what his actual history is. I don't know.
I've been reading some of these books, and like I'm taking notes. Like I know I said I don't read. I actually try, guys. I'm terrible at it though. But I take notes, and I'll go back to like some of these like wiki sites and stuff like that. Like I don't understand what the book was trying to tell me. And then so I have my idea of what's happening. I read the wiki site and I'm like, wow, I'm way off. So I feel like there's like a level of interpretation that's going into some of the writers, some more than others.
I love it. I really like sorry, I just switched to my Yeti. I didn't realize this wasn't on. So
wow. You sound beautiful now. My eardrums just exploded with
I apologize.
Your resonating beauty voice.
Well, I realized I put this thing on mute, or I might have this was always on mute, I think. And anyway, I was still talking and we were getting a response. And I looked down like it's not. Anyway.
What is going on?
I apologize. Hopefully that's better. I think that their license that they're taking with some of this stuff is awesome. Somebody hit me up on Twitter and I'll put my little handle. It's at Warmaster_TPM. But I'm just getting into the heresy. What should I read? And I suggest you got to read the first 4 books. The first 4 books really, really set the stage, and then you can start picking where you want. Like they're not quite as linear past that.
Yeah, you could read about like only your favorite chapter or certain fights and stuff that you've heard about.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of short story books out there. The short story books, I think they kind of take place almost in between chapters and novels sometimes is kind of what it feels like, or in between like part 1 and part 2 of a novel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They help bridge some gaps too. And there's like in between battles that they don't talk about, like that might be in like the codex and like that timeline that they put in the codexes.
Yeah.
But there's no like actual information about it. Like people done fought right here. Like that's cool. Because they're actually writing some of these stories out right now with that gap in mind.
The license that they're taking, though, I like it. I like everything that we've seen with the Blood Angels and their captain, the first captains, and Amit, how we know that what eventually happens. I love what they've done with the Imperial Fist. Like, I think you get a much better impression of Dorne than you might have had from reading some of like the snippets here and there that existed before the novels. I love it. I think that all that stuff is so well done, and they're worth reading. But my suggestion, and then I asked him what Legion he liked. Is 1,000 Suns. Like, oh, you've got to read Prospero Burns and then 1,000 Suns. Like, or 1,000 Suns and then Prospero Burns. You have to read that. The only, like, I ain't gonna tell anybody their business. All right, I'm not certainly not gonna tell anybody how to write. But I would have liked to seen a better conflict between Magnus and Lehman Russ at the end. I know they had to get to a certain position. Like, I know a couple of things had to happen, but I'd rather seen just a titanic battle between them, because we've seen Lehman Russ do some things, but we've only seen him do the same things like every other Primarch has done, kind of in the periphery. We haven't seen this dude go full on Krynos, and that's a werewolf term. Show my age a little bit. But we haven't seen him just go full on that way, I don't think. And I would have loved to seen it right then and there. That eventually ended it in like I can't remember a wrestler who did a spine breaker, back breaker over somebody over his knee in the ring right now. But I'd love to see like a straight up WWF style match that eventually ended in a reverse RKO over his knee. Yeah.
I think that move has been outplayed since the 70s. They've been much more creative, but I see where you're going.
But that's where they had to get there. They had to, that was in the story. Everyone knows that that's what happened in that last moment.
Yeah, he straight up Bane versus Batman him.
Yeah, but that's where I was going. But at the same time, it was a very beautiful story that lets you see the torment and the regret that Magnus has. So. Yeah. What I'm saying might have been a betrayal of that. So, they're masters of their craft. I'm just giving one man's opinion. That's all.
Oh, yeah. I feel like everything that's coming out now, too, think about, like, some of the older books. We're coming up on, 10, 15 years for some of these books now? Yeah. And, like, so those books,
about there was, 10. Like... It's not 15, man.
10, plus or minus. I don't know how to count either. But there was handcuffs in place for some of these writers because, either there wasn't anything there or, I feel like they were quite possibly told, don't reveal too much. Like, we really need to, like, space this out. But now,
they didn't know it was going to be this kind of series. They thought they were going to make about 6 books and move on with their lives and then figure out what they're going to do.
There's such a following and even, the interviews and stuff that we've done with some of them, it's like we have, like, this artistic freedom now. And we're getting to express what we feel and how we want these characters to develop. And, definitely keeping in line with, how the major scheme of
things.
Coach
is asking about what I felt about Flight of the Eisenstein. When that book came out, I'll be real honest. I was ready to write that book off. I wasn't planning to enjoy it. I was going to read it because I was so desperate for that content. But I love that book. I mean, that's where we really get to know about Garrow. That's where we get to know about we get so much information about the Death Guard, and then that scene where the Stormbird is is careening out of one of the can't remember the giant ship or whatever. That there's so many awesome moments in that, and that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to read that 4th book. Those are mandatory. Read 1 through 4, and don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Just read those books and then choose and then start to jump around. And Fulgrim was a kind of a long one, and it took me I read that on a plane. I was actually going to London, and I read Fulgrim over the course of that plane ride, and I had to get through it in spots. But I'm glad I did, because there's things in there that I think that was the 5th book, and they're the things that I remember from there that will stick with me because they were just such awesome story points.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's I've been doing a lot of the audio dramas to try to catch up on some of it. I don't have time to read for real, to really get in there and hammer some of these books out. But Scars was amazing. I've been listening to a lot of the Garrow stuff, and it's like, wow, there's so much rich things out there. Let's
think about Scars came out in the last couple of years. So there's
Oh, wow.
all these books in between, but you can do it. You can read the first 4 and then go read Scars, and you'll be just fine. You could read the first 4 and then go read Betrayer and be just fine. You could read the first 4 and then go read Thousand Suns and Prospero Burns, and you're fine. Or the Mechanical book. I mean, you could do all that and still feel like you're getting a large picture.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's awesome how they did that. Like, I don't know if it was intentional, but that's pretty badass.
Well, we know, I don't want to say, we know they talk. They communicate very well with each other, and I think that that shows, and it's giving us better stories.
And it's only getting better. Like, I feel like Aaron Dembski, man, he's got like the eye of the tiger right now. So everything that he's about to be releasing, that he's been writing for the last probably year almost, that dude's about to just home runs left and right.
Same with James Swallow. Dude is killing it.
Yeah.
Lamont saying he just finished Deathfire, and that really picks up after Where Vulcan Lives and Unrumored Empire goes. And I had not read that. I need to do that.
Nice.
Yep. Arcana Chaos is saying that he's got a buddy getting back into 40K. He's going to be getting rid of a bunch of HeroClix stuff on eBay. So if you're into that kind of thing, Dingo Jones 12 is what he's going to. I don't know how. I mean, if you're listening the next couple of days, search for that guy and maybe help him get his 40K fix.
Hey, real quick before you move on too, a good buddy of mine, Stephen Dublé, he's an awesome dude. He buys HeroClix and chops them up, and he makes like awesome effects on his 40K conversions and stuff like that. So if you're looking at like HeroClix online, and whatever this guy has, like I don't know if it's like blasphemy to rip them apart, but check those out because you might find some stuff to really step up a model to give it like some of those clear effects and things like that.
Steve's saying that his favorite part in Vulcan Lives was the ongoing Word Bearer Huntsman versus the Space Marine Scout, and he likes how that ended. I want no spoilers, but you're dead on. All the things that they add in there to spice it up and really give like character to the whole series, and it's not just a Primarch's peen measuring. It's been great.
Yeah.
Like I can't say enough about this. We are going to get back into our 30K coverage, especially with the release for our Battle for Calth. We're going to get back into that 30K coverage on the podcast, and I can't wait to chronicle. I'm going to be doing a challenge on Twitter. If I haven't missed it with the tournament, it basically ate up. Like I haven't been able to sit down and do like any of the paint work that I was planning on doing for this paint challenge yet, but I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's too late. I'll still post pics on Twitter. That's where I post my work in progress stuff is not good enough for our Facebook. I let Adam handle that with his work in progress. My finished products are only barely good enough for the Forge Narrative Facebook.
Only because his work in progress is better than my masterpieces. So
it's only because I want to bring the top quality stuff to your phones. That's what I want to do. But on Twitter, on the other hand, I post work in progress there, and the feedback I get from people is great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't paint terribly. I think I paint well enough to be proud of my work, but anybody who paints should be. But I do like to show it off a little bit to get some critiques and people's opinions on the stuff, so I can get better.
Yeah, I saw a beautiful Raven Guard army it was just 10 dudes, but dude was working on them. Dude, black is a tough color, man, but this guy, he just nailed it. And at first, I thought he actually was cutting into the shoulder pads and doing battle damage, but he did that 3-dimensional paint layers, and it just looked so good. Like it looked like legit. And then I zoomed in, and I was like, "That's paint, bro? Like seriously?" And then I got depressed, and I'm never gonna paint that.
Man, you never know. I mean, there's stuff now that I pull off I never thought I was going to. The products are getting so much better. We talk about Secret Weapon. We talk about even the Games Workshop. I got one of those large wash bottles. I got the basically the triple size Agrag Surshade. This is beautiful marketing on Games Workshop point. Like what they want is for me to have that on my desk and then knock it over and spill it and go have to buy another $8 paint thing.
Is that what it is? About $8?
I think it's about $8. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not
I
bad.
bought it when I bought my Calth, so I don't know what the exact dollar amount was.
Yeah, I mean,
let's say $7-8.
$8 for a bottle of wash. I guess that does sound ridiculous, but yeah,
Well,
it's a quality wash though.
I
mean,
ran out and I
GW1.
got it's one of the best washes out there when you want to coat the whole model. If you want to coat the whole model, I don't think there's anything better than Games Workshop brand.
Yeah, whatever medium that they use is it's brilliant. The way that it doesn't pull very hard, and I mean it pulls just enough.
Yeah, and
It's
it
hard to
won't
explain
just
it.
go into the recesses. I mean, it will coat and not just flow into the recesses.
Yeah,
Almost where you have to kind of go back and tint the recesses after you've gotten the coat you want. But if I'm being ham-handed, which I often am with models, I prefer to have a wash that does exactly what I want it to do, and then I get to bring it up from there. Like with my gold gray nights, it's perfect. I'm able to put the layers on there, layer up to my top gold, knock it back with the wash, then go back in with the highlight, and it does It does exactly what I want, and it looks like I get to pro paint it with techniques I can use.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze on a model and put it on eBay. See how much I can sell it for.
Look, I apologize in advance if this is one of y'all's models that watch or whatever, but there's this ogre butcher, like gut magic dude or whatever. It's supposed to be covered in blood. I see what they're going for, but they basically just took the model and they might be painted under there, but they just like put red all over it. So he's making it like he's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And they're trying to sell that thing for like $30-$40.
Yeah. Less is more.
Like,
just for certain effects, less is more.
I've seen it because my strategy with eBay is I'll, like when I get to work and I've done and I get a break in what I'm doing, I'll just go search for Warhammer on eBay, and I'll see what's ending in the next 3 or 4 hours or so, because I'm planning like in 4 more hours I might take another couple of 15-minute breaks or whatever, and so then I'm gonna look on there and see what's happening for the next 4 hours there, and this thing just keeps coming up.
It's like recycled.
It ain't happening. I'm looking for warp spiders, but I'm looking, and they can never have enough warp spiders.
Yeah, I've been in the market to get a couple more Storm Ravens, so I've been looking pretty adamantly. But there's some out there that look amazing, and then there's some out there that just like they look like too much work. And I don't know if I'm willing to throw that in right now, especially for the price point. Like, dude, I'm not paying you $80 for something that I'm going to spend 6 hours cleaning.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Sorry, bro. Like, if I have to completely unassemble it and reassemble it for a better assembly, that's not an assembled fee. I'm not willing to pay.
Sean, hook us up with some pictures on your jungle basis for your Demonkin. I'd love to see that kind of stuff. This is hopefully some good hobby time. I'm going to be, after this running this tournament, and we're going to do like some full-on analysis on the next show, on the next audio show anyway, about some of the types of armies that were there with the primary detachments that were there. But anyway, now that that's done, I'm going to get back to doing some painting. I have a Dread Knight I'm going to finish. I've got some Terminators I'm going to finish. And I'm going to paint up at least a 15-man Reaver squad for my Luna Wolves for a 30K.
Oh, wow.
That's using the Battle for Calth Marines.
Okay. Yeah, I got 60 of those bad boys on the way. I got to figure out how I'm going to mix and match. All right. So, like, I've been waiting on Space Wolves. They're never coming out. So
they'll be out.
I know. Yeah, when I'm like 60. So
they'll be out probably by mid next year.
I know. So like I kind of got upset at myself because I did this, but I'm gonna have 60 Bolter Marines, and I'm gonna mix some of the pieces from that little $13 sprue that they had for a while, like sold out like instantly.
Yeah,
because I have like all of them.
Nice.
Sorry, guys. But I'm gonna like take those pieces and then some from the what was it, Stormclaw box.
Yep.
Because I got an obscene amount of Stormclaw boxes when it came out, and I'm gonna just try to mix mash. From my understanding, Space Wolves back then are a little bit less than they are now, not so blinged out. So
I don't think they're quite as blinged out, but they're still blinged out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find like that comfortable balance. Where
somebody posted a link to a painting tutorial for pre-issue Space Wolves to our Forge Narrative Facebook, and it was good. And I think the way that dude assembled, the way he assembled his model is right in line with the Heresy Space Wolves.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
The paint scheme that he used was a little bit more 40K paint scheme than what we know to be now. I think at the time it was dead on, spot on, but what we know now is a slightly different color scheme.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like a little bit more of a darker charcoal with like a cool blue hue to it.
They were. I thought they were lighter.
The pre-Heresy?
Yeah, I could be wrong. Maybe the dude was right on this color.
I mean, if it was darker, like they're lighter in 40K than they are in 30K.
Okay, then the guy was probably right there. Then
yeah,
I apologize for casting dispersions.
Yeah, from my understanding. So don't write that down as truth either.
We're one internet search away from figuring out if we're right or wrong.
I'm 99.9% sure I'm right, but I can't search the internet right now. I don't have a keyboard. Sad face.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to talk about these Mont'Ka formations.
I do have that.
I just
some.
I just jibber jabber for 45 minutes.
Okay.
I apologize in advance. But how cool is it that we now get to take Bane blades as part of the Decurion?
Oh, dude. Like, I'm looking for those things right now. I preloaded some. The IG stuff looks so fun. Like, all the different...
I don't know, man. I'm not very excited about it because I don't think they did enough with it. I think that there's... Right now in the game, I think that there is kind of a weird divide between real effective things and real fluffy things. And I think the best formations are the things that blend those two together to where you've got ultimate fluff and ultimate efficiency. And I mean that. I'm fine with that being the case. But it looks like a lot of the Imperial Guard things are high on fluff, low on efficiency.
So I don't have the Baneblade one. I know what you're talking about though, because that's the one that like sold out instantly. It's got the Baneblade, the 3 Sentinels, a couple heavy weapons.
Because you take a core. No, there is you can take whatever the core is, and that's not I mean, it's something like 3 Sentinels and 3 squads of troops and 3 command squads and that kind of stuff. Then one of your auxiliaries is 1 to 3 Baneblade chassis.
Ah, okay. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty big. Yeah, I'm looking at the core choices right now. They're pretty good.
The commander choice that you can take a tank commander in that core choice.
Yeah, I'm looking at that one, the Emperor's Fist Armored Company. So you got the 1 tank commander, 3 Lehman Russ squadrons, and then 1 to 3 engine seers. So that seems pretty strong with some of the Lehman Russ builds out there. And that's a core choice. Is there a strong Lehman Russ build out there right now?
Well,
Pask and then Executioner. I mean, that does work.
I love the Executioner, but I'm just asking, like, what do you think? What do you think is an actual?
I think Pask and an Executioner is probably the best right now. I don't think going into 3 Lehman Russes, just because of the whole shaking and stuff like that, they're still a little bit hindered in that. I wish there would be like vehicle squadrons. I wish there would be something where you could break off. Like if a dude gets immobilized or something like that, just break off, make that a rule. I feel like that. Just because my buddy next to me got blown up and he can't shoot his gun, like I'm not going to stop shooting.
For this Imperial Guard, big detachment, combined detachment, the only thing that's mandatory is the command section.
Yeah.
So that's the battle group command. So you get 1 company command squad or tank commander and 0 to 1 Lord Commissars. And what this does, a company commander that is part of a battle group command can issue up to 3 orders each turn rather than 2, and can issue them to units from this detachment that are within 24 inches instead of 12 inches. So it doubles the range of the command bubble.
That's big. That's really big. Three things and longer range.
Yeah. So the battle group Voxnet, when an officer from this detachment issues an order to a unit from this detachment, roll an additional dice for leadership test and discard the highest roll.
I don't like that, but
well, I don't. It's free. I don't know what's not to like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind then.
And then sharpshooters. Models from this detachment can re-roll to hit rolls of 1 when firing las guns or hot shot las guns.
Which everybody has. So
yeah, so free preferred enemy.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big. Use that like to bubble wrap some other stuff, possibly. Get some of that free preferred enemy in there. All those orders, so you get to double tap and stuff like that.
So what I'm talking about is a super heavy support element. You get 1 unit or formation chosen from the following.
Yeah.
And you are able to take the Emperor's Fury super heavy company.
Yeah, I couldn't find the links to those. I have some of the Tau ones though, so when we get to those.
But you can, with this auxiliary, is that 0 to 3 per core. So you take 1 core, which is 0 to 3 per command, and then you take an auxiliary, and then you can get up to 3 auxiliaries.
Yeah, that's pretty legit. I mean, because your core and your command are going to be really low points. Like, you don't have to spend a lot of points there at all. So this is opening up 0 to 3 choices of the meat and potatoes of some of the stuff that you might see.
You could just take a company command squad. So, I mean, that's
50 points.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Cheap. The tank commander, you got to buy the 2 tanks, so it's a little bit more expensive, but still worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Pask in a Punisher with an Executioner it's going to do work. Like AV-14 is still a thing. If used correctly and played correctly, you're going to do work with those things. And for not that many points, I mean, you're looking like 400 points, if that.
I'm not as impressed with this Tech Priest engine seer. I like the model. The model is okay. I love the model because I love all things like Tech Marine type stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not impressed with his rules they've given him. We can if anybody's got a cool build with that, please send it to us on Facebook or an email. Have you take a look at it. I just don't see it as like game changing, but I think it's again kind of very fluffy. Goes right in line with all the new AdMech stuff we've seen, and it's not bad.
Yeah, for me, like people that want to use those or Tech Marines to like follow around your vehicles and keep them going or keep their hull points up, like it's very hard to do. Orcs do it best.
Never works like you expect it to.
Yeah, Orcs. I want to say like all the mech boys inside of the Stompa.
Inside the Stompa, yeah, that'll work.
That's like the only effective way to use
following
that kind
around,
of a combo.
Walking behind the knight with an Iron Hands Tech Marine never works.
Oh yeah, I'm killing that guy every time. Like, oh, you want to do something now? Right.
Yeah. So the Blood Angel, like the bundle right now online that we've seen, and we don't know that I don't know if there's a formation for it. It's the Chaplain, a unit of Death Company, Carleon, a unit of Terminators, a Storm Raven, and a Land Raider,
and a Librarian, and a Sanguinary Priest.
Priest, I knew about the library. I didn't know the Sanguinary Priest was in there.
He is hidden in the bottom right-hand corner, looking all beautiful.
No, they look great.
Yep. Yeah.
I hope that's a cool formation. I hope it's got cool rules. I already know in my heart it's not going to be, and they don't.
Well, for some reason, like I feel like there might be a data slate for it. I just think it's going to be one of those like equip it this specific way kind of ones, and I don't like those.
Well, I mean, just think of the way this stuff is built. It forces you to put these things in, like, where do the Terminators ride? Where do the Terminators and Carleon ride?
I feel like they're in the Raven, and I feel like the Death Company is in the
Land Raider?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just based off of like the model count, looking at it, to me, it just makes sense statistically.
Yep.
I don't know.
I think that we're going to see some reserve manipulations on that. I think we're going to definitely see. I don't know if we'll see a charge out of Deep Strike. That would be awesome, and I'll find a way to make it work if you can do that with Death Company.
Death Company. If they can charge the turn they come in, I think that'd be good. I'm even willing to pay a penalty. Like I don't get a bonus attack or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's been the penalty in the past, but I hope not. I mean, there's no reason to put. But again, we're seeing this kind of cross between fluffy and efficiency, and we got fluffed into the dirt as Blood Angel players. We got fluffed to straight our nose to the ground. in this.
I don't know, man. Ain't no red thirst, ain't no black rage. I mean, I am very sad that the direction that this book took. I feel very generic. I don't feel.
Well, that's
like
what I mean. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like we have that
Yeah.
tragic secret that we can't let anybody know. So we're not going to get cool rules anymore to embrace the tragic, the secret. Like
it was just so generic, and you cannot tell me that they did not know scouts were going to get BS4 and dreadnoughts were going to get more attacks, dude. If a Deco Dread had like more freaking attacks, it would almost be viable. Like, hands down, it would almost be viable. Give it 2 more attacks. Done.
Almost viable. Let's talk about viable dreadnoughts right now. That new double bubble, that's what I'm calling it, the double bubble, from Forge World. The dreadnought.
Meaty Metersons. Yeah, that thing is beast mode.
Okay, in 40K, it sucks. It's like 1,000 points and doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but it looks good.
Yeah, in 30K, it's rare. It's very strong. It gets better guns. It's cheaper, and I don't know.
Yeah, the guns are like the biggest thing. I mean, the variations that you're allowed to take in 30K are just so much more powerful. So you can't even. You're comparing like a power sword to a chain sword.
Yeah, I think you're right. So look for more. I want to see if anybody's got any cool list with these things that we're kind of. Not being too kind to, I would love to see them, because the things that we're talking about are awesome looking models.
Yeah. Why is everything Death Guard, by the way, on Forge World? I don't know if you've noticed that.
Why isn't anything? I mean, why? Why not?
I mean, come on. Like, Mortarian's been out. Like, I love Death Guard. Don't get me wrong. Like, Mortarian's one of my favorite Primarchs, but like, show me some other stuff. Like, maybe make him a Space Wolf or a Blood Angel.
I do wish that they had better paint guides on Forge World. I do, because the paint guide that they've got for the few legions that were out at the time they did the paint guide is pretty good.
Yeah. Did they pull the plug on their airbrush line? Because GW proper released their airline that.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything from Forge World about that. Yeah. But I'm not buying a single Games Workshop air paint until they're in a better bottle.
Yeah, I do. I gotta find the link. I'll tell you about it later. Never mind.
Okay.
It makes good for good TV.
Yeah, searching for the link. Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna buy it. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it.
Well, I have to do something really quick because.
Worst unboxing ever. Version
3.0. Yep. Yeah. I'm going to run through this extremely fast, but my battle bin came in. Everybody knows I'm hot on my battle bin. This one is like Rivet Wars all day, every day. It came with this cool little print. It reminds me of like a comic book or something.
Rivet Wars looks so cool. I've seen people play it. We got some good friends of the show that have played it. I've not played it. I would love to play it.
Yeah, what came in this series is like a very watered down starter set. So your cards are, you got dudes on both sides. So it's definitely to get 2 people or more involved in the game. But a slew of minis. Where'd it go? So bags on bags. So here's a pretty big bag. There's probably like 8 little infantry dudes in there.
And that's Rivet Wars?
Yeah. Here's another bag of some more infantry dudes. Here's another bag with some more infantry dudes and some bigger tanks in there.
That's a nice box, dude.
Yeah. I got a box full of bigger infantry dudes in there. So that's like all the Rivet Wars minis. It came with the card game, Comrades and Patriots. I'm going to have to give that a look. Their card games have been really hit or miss for me lately. Came with a Rivet Wars mat. It reminds me of the Sedition Wars mat that they gave in that very first battle bin that they released, but they stepped their game up, bro. That's a t-shirt. That's totally a t-shirt.
Oh, wearable. I dig it.
Well, it's not wearable for me. It's my wife's size.
Oh. Hey, that's how you score some points. Hey, I'm gonna give you the shirts when they come in, honey. I'm gonna get this other stuff.
Oh man, I do it at work too. We have a shirt for everything at work, and then we get to do these casual events, and rock your this shirt or that shirt, and I get them all in mediums, and everybody's like, dude, when they hand it to me, I'm like, what, man? It's for my left leg, bro.
Gloves, yeah.
But yeah, dude, I'm gonna play River Wars. This has really got me like looking into it. The models look great, like they're steampunky. And then there's like a
game board, when they're all laid out, they look very cool.
Yeah, they just like they look really fun, like these like oblong shaped dudes, and I don't know, like it just looks like a blast. So I'm giving that a go. Next month is Drop Zone Commander. So yeah,
from the Battle Bin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these dudes are legit, man. Like everybody.
I mean, he's had to go. That means he's making some good connections and stuff. I mean, that's neat,
bruh. This dude.
Do they give you like a code or something that you can share?
Yes, I will put that on the Facebook page. I'll put the link up there and everything like that. Everybody can go check it out, dude. It's so legit. Like this is Loot Crate for tabletop wargamers. Like it's like $30. You're getting so much crap. Like look at all the crap that I got. Like I mean,
yeah, that's nice.
Minis for days, bro.
That's very nice.
Like every one of them has been definitely worth their value. I highly suggest you check them out. I'll put the link up. Hit them up. I've been talking to them behind the scenes a little bit. Maybe we might get a little something. Do some collaboration.
Well, I mean, I want to be clear. Right now, there's nothing. You're pitching it, or you're showing it now just because it's neat. And
yeah. I want them to be like to reach our community. These guys care about the community. Everything that they do. There's a fellow battle buddy that's what we call ourselves. He's come down on some hard times with some medical stuff going on, and we're all throwing down. So dude's going to continue to get his battle bins even though he can't afford it.
Oh, that's nice.
And we're going to throw down to try and make his battle bins a little bit better. See what we can do to help him out. Like it's all about that community feel. Like these dudes are literally like our stepbrothers. Like they care about the community. They love games. They want to expand every game. Like that's why I like this. Is it's opening up my mindset to so many other things I never would have done. Like
cool,
River Wars. Never would have tried it out.
We're at the end of the hour. Thanks for listening to us and hanging out. Again, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do. If you have not subscribed to the new feed in iTunes, please do that. That means a lot. Leave us a favorable, hopefully, this many stars review in iTunes, and we'll look forward to hanging out with y'all next week.
For sure. This hat is so ridiculously hot, but I love it.
Good night, everybody.